Hello and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for joining me, and get ready for another Bitcoin price action analysis. Today, of course, is Thursday, and yeah, I've got a few ideas to share with you, a few little logical thoughts that I'm going to run past you, see what you think about them. And on that note, let's get straight into the price action. Now, as you can see, yesterday I had a range on, daily range on, which technically speaking is still relevant, although with just under 5 hours to go, I get the feeling this daily candle may breach the bottom of the range. And that's why I've taken the top off, because I'm presuming that it's going to be breached, but it may not be, if it's not breached, then I'd expect to move over the coming days, although it is Thursday now, low volatile times. Maybe sort of between now and the beginning of next week, I move back up to this area, 71.6. I would have thought if Bitcoin can do that, and I'm not suggesting this is what's going to happen, I don't even think this is the likely next move, but if it did, it would probably at least then get to the current all-time high, because that would have been the third knock on that door in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah. What I think is more likely is that Bitcoin does indeed close below the figure I've been chucking around the place of a daily closure below 67,000, which, as you can. And then another move, or the next move, being to the downside. And so the question that then occurs, or that flows from that, is, well, where is it likely to get to next, if indeed it does close the daily below the bottom of this range, i.e. 67,000, which is still not quite there. Before I discuss that, just as a side note, you can see even the daily momentum that I use as my momentum index is getting close to shifting from upside to downside. The weekly, on the other hand, still very much to the upside. 4 hours been to the downside for quite some time now, but I'm going to focus on the daily for this next part of the price action analysis, and I'm going to do that now. So if I break out the Fibonacci tool and draw from this, remember, Fibonacci is subjective in as much as it depends where you draw it on. Now, some people may draw the bottom one from there, but I'm just considering this whole move up to here, and then these are basically double top, as one move, right? Effectively, one kind of wave of price, if you like, with an up, down, up, down, up and down. And the areas of interest with all Fibonacci retracements lie between the 382 and 618, or at least that's a recognized area that if a trend is going to continue, and so in this case this would be a daily uptrend, so if a daily uptrend is going to continue, you would expect a pullback within that trend to occur somewhere between 65.6, you could argue it's already got down to that already, and ideally no lower than 62. Now, I don't know if I agree with all those numbers, but those are the Fibonacci numbers based on my drawing of Fibonacci. I would, looking more at the price action, suggest that I'd say the 50% is a pretty relevant one, based on support resistance of the price action within this range of infinity, as I'm starting to think of it. And so, yeah, somewhere really between, say, 65 down to where the 50% is there, so 60, say 3.5. So it's about $1,500 window for potentially price to then occupy before maybe a bounce to the upside. And if indeed it did do that, so if it did come a bit further down, then it would make logic sense. So say, for example, Bitcoin does make the next move to the downside, comes just say, we'll just use 64 as a potential target, and then a retest of the line here, which was support, will then become resistance because prices approaching from below. And then that would, that would confirm that actually this is more of a daily downtrend than just a pullback. So what you'd want to see for this continue or for this to remain within an uptrend on the daily time frames, you would need to see a pullback wherever it gets to, followed by a resumption of the trend, i.e. getting back above these two highs. And if Bitcoin doesn't do that, if indeed it did then get resistance and turn back down, well, that then becomes a daily downtrend. And, and the trend is your friend. And that's how it should be treated. And you treat your friends nicely and you listen to them, if they're good friends. Or sensible friends. And if you haven't got sensible friends, you should probably choose some different friends. Anyway, enough of that. I think there's far too many orange lines on that chart. Now, what would make the daily downtrend option more likely is if the MACD gets down below the zero line, which it will do if this pulls back down, beyond the crossover point. And so that, if the MACD crossed below the zero line when Bitcoin had pulled back, I would be then expecting a retest of the area and then another move down. And another move down, could then get support anywhere really between sort of 60,000 and then where the current low is 56.5, although you probably wouldn't want too many daily closures below 58. So yes, probably a slightly negative picture I've painted there, and that's of course you're short Bitcoin. It's still contingent on the next 5 hours. Bitcoin closing this current daily candle on below 67,000, i.e. the bottom of my range, and that may not happen. Didn't happen yesterday. Maybe it won't happen today. Although, when you look at the lower time frames, if I look at the lower time frames, yes, it's hard to look for more upside at this point. I would say, though, this will look a lot like a double bottom or a W formation on the 4 hour if Bitcoin gets back above 68,250. So on 4 hours and dailies, if Bitcoin can get back above 68,250, 68.5, this will be a double bottom. Comme ça, just to chuck in a little French phrase, and then prices back into the daily range at the very least, but with these guys as a short-term target. Oof, 9.5 minutes. Well, there we are. I hope you've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And maybe that's why I do it every day. Anyway, enjoy what's rest. Enjoy the remainder of your evening or afternoon or whatever time of the day it is. And if you want another video like this, then please join me tomorrow because I'll be doing one. And if you don't come back. Okay, goodbye.